Welcome back, welcome back. It's your girl, the Alchemist Empress, bringing you another Oracle message. This is part two of my Oracle message slash testimony. Okay? So, you can always rewrite the story. Okay? So, we left off at me leaving the homeless shelter after being there for a year. I finally was able to find a place. I was blackmailed, y'all. So I couldn't get no job, I couldn't get no place, I couldn't get no help, I couldn't get nothing. They wrote me off. But the Most High had a place for me. Even if they meant it for my bad, it turned out for my good. So isolation was a good thing for me. Even though it was created to be bad for me, it was actually good for me because I grew tremendously in my relationship with the Most High and my mother, who is wisdom. I have learned at a greater level about myself, who I am as a daughter of the King, what I like, even at a greater level, what I don't like. Just learning about the kingdom of heaven. There is so much to learn about it. Oh my God, it's just depth with height. It goes on and on and on, you guys. The mysteries. Okay? Like, I love that I've always got to sit before the Father's feet and learn. But this was a whole new adventure for me because I was reconnecting back to source spiritually. I had the church part down, but spiritually, I really dived deep. And I've been in isolation for the last going on 5 years right now. Yeah, of my life. Away from the world, locked away from the world, but this was purposely done for bad to people, but it was also good on the Most High's half for me. um, yeah, I've been isolated from the world. I was in prison, y'all, and didn't even know I was in prison. You know how you go to actual prison? No, I'm in a house prison. I have been in a house prison, not even knowing I was in prison by the government, by my family, coming into agreement to do these things to me, to experiment on me, to attack me, to do all kinds of evil, wicked manners and experimenting on me. Yeah. These are things that I don't even talk about, but I feel now is the time for me to start talking about these things. Um, I didn't know my family was part of a cult. I didn't know that. I didn't know. I knew something was up with my ex-mother, but I didn't know she was an Eastern Star. I didn't know the things that my family members were doing in secret, but I knew it was off. They always kept everything from me. They kept secrets from me. And like I always used to say, I remember it when I was about 18. I used to cry out to God. I'm like, God, why did you put me in this family? This is not my real family. I used to say that, y'all, and it actually is true. It's not my real family. I don't know who my real mom or dad is. I just know that it's not my family. But yeah, I've been in isolation, y'all. Just me, the Most High, my precious mother who is wisdom, and with my holy ancestors. That's all I've had all my life, really. But I've really come to know that these last 5 years of my life, it's just been us and my daughter. I don't have any help. I don't have any support in the 3D. I do everything myself. I live out in the middle of nowhere, so transportation is not an option really for me. I order everything offline and it's delivered to me. If it wasn't for the area I live in and they do carpooling for the kids for school, my daughter she'd be at home with me. You know, I like for her to have the social aspect, especially being having autism and being nonverbal, you know. I like for her to have the interaction with other kids, you know. But yeah, I have no transportation. It's just me, the Most High, my daughter, my precious mother, who is wisdom, like I said, and my holy ancestors who assist me in this 3D and in the spiritual. They do, but they help me with both, you know. So that's where I've been, and I love that I'm rewriting my story now. And it's beautiful what I have in store, what I've been shown, the promises that the Most High has for me that are coming to pass even right now as I am speaking to you guys. Yeah. In the process, you know, it's been painful. I've been under surveillance, even up until right now as I'm talking. Me and my daughter have undergone spiritual abuse that we shouldn't even be alive right now. We should be dead. And in the process, many people that I knew and I did not know, they've lost their lives. It was abuse around the clock. When I say around the clock, I mean in clockwork. It never ceased. And at first when it started happening, you know, because this was like different than what I experienced in my previous testimony I was sharing with y'all. We were being spiritually trafficked, sex trafficking. It's real, it exists, and it's happening even now as I'm speaking to you, to people. Yeah, I used to wake up. I would go to sleep, and there'd be times where I couldn't even wake up. I'd be getting raped in my sleep. And I could see, like, I couldn't see the people's face, but I could see the outline of their bodies. And I'd be getting raped spiritually. I would wake up so drained, tired all the time, but I still persevered through it all. And I would get up and I'm a creator, so I like to create things. I create a lot of content. Yeah, I did that every day, and I still do it as I'm speaking to you. Even in the midst of that, being spiritually attacked like that at night, and then during the day, they would attack my child as well. They'd be doing spell work on my child. And she'd be going crazy, y'all. She'd be crying and screaming. And at that time when it was happening, it was never a break of it happening to us that I couldn't understand or get the downloads of what was happening to us, who was doing it, who all was involved. And it was my family. And then they had a whole community of people I used to grow up with. A whole cult of people. People I don't even know was in on this. Doctors, lawyers, corrupt officers. So many people was in on it to take me out, to see me fall at the hands and the desire of my ex-mother. Me and my baby girl went through so much. In the first apartment that I lived in, it was so bad. Like, I wouldn't even go to, it got to the point where, yeah, I wouldn't even go to bed at night because I'd have to keep watch over my daughter. Because as soon as I fell asleep, we would both be getting raped spiritually in the spirit realm for our energy. They were harvesting off of us, running their businesses, living lavish lifestyles off of my energy, while we sat in poverty, in lack, having little to nothing to live off of. Blackballed me, so I couldn't get a job. And nobody would help me because they paid everybody to ignore me. So it's like I was stuck in the middle of nowhere with no help. So I had to make do with what I had. And that would happen, you guys, every day. There was not a day that went by that we got rest. So I had to change our schedule where we would sleep during the day and be up at night. And even in that, we were still getting attacked, but it was like we made it work and we were able to still function, you know? When I was living in my first apartment, and then like people would move in and I could pick up on, they were sent to live next to us. They were sent to move in where we lived, and they would be attacking us too at night. And it got to the point where I had to move into a different apartment, y'all. I had to like call my landlord and was like, yo, you have anything else available? I gotta get up out of here. I can't stay in this area. So we moved to a different place during these 6 years. And then when we moved to a different place, it was like there was relief. I felt like I escaped these psychopath people. And sure enough, like not even 2 months in, it started happening again. It's like they found us in this spiritually. They tracked us down, y'all. And it was happening again around the clock, just attacking us. And I remember dealing with some issues around my uterus and, you know, around my sacral chakra, to the point where like I was being drained so badly that my uterus dropped. Like it was, I know this may sound a little graphic, but my uterus was hanging out of my area, the opening. That's how bad the spiritual abuse was, you guys. And at first, I didn't know that that's what it was. I was trying to figure it out because I'm not the type of person to just run to the doctor. I don't care for the doctor. You know, I like self-healing. That's how I do everything, is self-healing. Unless I break a bone, then I have to go to the doctor, you know. Yeah, the abuse was so bad that that's what was happening. And I would walk around like that every day. I couldn't exercise. I couldn't do anything because I was afraid I was going to die if I put any more strain on my body because of the spiritual abuse that was happening and how it was manifesting physically on my body. And it was like I was still trying to manage, still trying to create, still trying to take care of my household, making sure that my daughter is okay, you know, battling on her behalf as well. Like it was so crazy, y'all. Like, talk about Nightmare on Elm Street. Yo, we shouldn't be alive. That's all I'm going to say. I should not be alive. I've been poisoned quite a few times. Food, like them poisoning my food. I never died, though. All glory, honor, and praise be to the Most High. It makes me think of the scripture, you know, even though it's quoted differently, you know, if you have to drink any deadly thing, you know, anything with poison, that you shall not die, you know. I'm quoting, but it's in there. It's in the word. I was living out that scripture in my life. I was living out, you know, no weapon formed against me, it shall not prosper. I was living that out in my life. I was living it out, the persecution. I was living it out, being ostracized out of a city, you know, having to wipe the dust off of me and move on to the next city. I was living those scriptures out in my life where the word becomes flesh. I was living those things out, y'all, day in and day out. Being made in the likeness and the image of my Creator. I am my Father, and my Father is in me. That went on for the last 5 years of my life. Being sacrificed on a daily basis. People trying to kill me and my daughter, trying to take our lives for money, for fame, for riches, so that they could live a lavish lifestyle. And these people have more than enough, but it just wasn't enough. They had to sacrifice us. They had to get surgery to look like me. They had to dress like me. They had to talk like me. They had to literally be me in the world while I was isolated, put out in the middle of nowhere, to the point where they even had a funeral for me, saying that I died, when I'm right here in the middle of nowhere while somebody else is living my life. My own mother, well, she ain't my mother, ex-mother, did this to me. And then there were others, brothers, ex-brothers, they all were doing the same thing unto me, trying to live my life. People I don't even know were living my life, taking bits and pieces of me as if I was just some type of just thing that they could just dissect. And now, you know, everything in their life is crumbling because the energy they were living off of was never theirs, it was mine. And they're all sick because they have bad health. And it's not because of me. It's because of the magic that is returning unto them. You know, you reap what you sow. That's universal law as well. That's spiritual law as well, you know. So what you are seeing when you see these people is the manifestation of the things that they have been putting out into the world. Everything that they wish upon you, you know, it becomes their reality. Especially when you are a chosen one. When you are in right standing with the Most High, with the Creator. But I get to rewrite my story, y'all. And I've just reached the point of it's over. Though, yes, people will still try to do things, you know. The treacherous part of it is over. I shouldn't be here. Me or my daughter, we shouldn't be here right now, but we're rewriting our story. We are here. We are present. We are healthy. We are whole. Nothing missing. Nothing broken. And I am living to tell my story where there are others who didn't make it. But I stand as a voice for them to tell the story of the things that happened to me and happened to them too. They just didn't make it. And that there will be justice. There will be vindication for those who lost their lives during this of what I undergone. Those who are innocent. But I get to rewrite my story, y'all. And I'm excited. For what the Most High has in store for me. It's just begun. And it's crazy, you know, you think life is supposed to be, you know how you have life set up, you know, growing up. Oh, when I'm 18, I'm going to go to college and all this stuff, you know. I've learned, you know, life ain't lifing until you are reconnected back to the Most High, to Source. That's life. That's real, true life. That's when life begins. When you are brought back to the one who created you. That's life. And it's like, I'm excited of what's transpiring in my life. All the good. Nothing but goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. I'm excited, y'all. I am so excited. I'm a private person though, you know, like I don't like to like, it's crazy that I am a private person, but yet like my story is being spread all over the world. I just been quiet. And I was sharing it, you know, on other platforms, but like I said, they disabled my platforms because they were getting mad because I was telling the truth. I was exposing the enemy for what they were doing. They didn't like it, so they disabled my pages, my platforms, y'all. That's how I ended up on YouTube, but people are sharing my story. I've been hearing it through other readers, you know, here and there, and it makes me happy. It makes me smile because my little voice isn't enough for this story that I hold. And people have been sharing it, and I am so thankful and grateful to the Most High for those who are obedient and like they actually are truly hearing from the Most High and allowing Mama to use them. It's a blessing. I ain't gonna call no names of the people I watch, you know, but I have much respect for them. They have been such a blessing to me and they don't even know it. And I give all glory, honor, and praise to the Most High for each and every one of you. Because my story is being rewritten. And I'm just excited about it. I know I keep saying it because I'm still in the process of writing it, of things coming to pass, you know. And I can say at this point, I am healed, I am whole. And that is the first part of the story being rewritten. Oh, God. The Most High, He's good, y'all. He's good. Even in the ugliness, He's good. Because it all works out for our good. But that concludes this message, y'all. And until next time, shalom.